FIRELife.
Hey, welcome back, Fire family. Welcome back to my channel. Very excited that you're here. Today we're going to talk about debt management and specifically some of the debt management strategies that we help our clients with. So there's three main ones that we try to focus on. There's a few others, but these are the main three that we try to, help our clients. We teach them, or we, help them set up so that they can start to succeed and take control of their money. That's one of the main things, one of the most fundamental things. If you want to succeed in fire and establish your fire life and get to your point where you are living on fire, you have to take control of your debt. You have to reduce your spending. You have to manage your money the right way. And that's just important. It's fundamental for your future success, the legacy that you want to leave your family, your kids, whatever it is, or just to achieve the goals that you want to in your life. So one of the main things that we teach here is financial peace and the debt snowball method, right? So we're going to get into some of that. We're going to do a comparison between the debt snowball method, an outside debt negotiating service that we use, that we trust, that we promote, Negotiator Debt Solutions, and the velocity banking, fire banking, speed banking, debt acceleration, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to do a little kind of compare and contrast here and figure out what might be best for you. And that's one of the things. Look, everybody's different. Everyone has different goals. Everyone has different risks that they want to take. Some people like things very simple. Some people like things very fast. They're okay. It's a little complicated. They want to just get it over with, get it done with. So we try to meet you where you are. Now we're always going to try to, evaluate your full picture, understand your goals. And then we're going to try to, set up a plan, a strategy that's going to work for you. But ultimately, it's going to be your decision. You're going to have to decide which path you want to take. We're going to give you our recommendations for you, but it'll be your decision. And wherever you are, whichever path you want to take, we're going to meet you there, and we're going to help you. We're going to guide you along the way. And that's the beauty of our company, of our system, myself, that we want to be of service to you. And that's what our life is all about, is a life of service. So, we don't consider you a client, you're family. And we always want to do right by our family. We always want to treat them right and help them succeed, right? Because if our family is stronger, right, and they're winning with money, then everyone's stronger, right? And we can help a lot more people. So let's get to it. So let's get started with FPU and the debt snowball method, right? That's the Financial Peace University for those of you that are not familiar with that. And I have a video. I'll put a link in the description below to our FPU video and kind of what the debt snowball method is all about, and Financial Peace University, the baby steps. But one of the main things is that it focuses on taking control of yourself and your money, right? It stops your bad money habits. Again, this is core, is fundamental to what we do, which is why we like this. It's one of the personal methods that I've used, and I've been teaching this for a while now. And I'm actually going through the Master Financial Coaching program that Dave Ramsey offers. So that's been really beneficial to me. So hopefully I'll be done with that here in maybe another month or so. One of the things about this system is that it's been proven effective. Over 6-7 million people have gone through FPU, have taken control of their money, and they've started winning. I mean, people that are now millionaires, people that have been doing this now, and Dave has been teaching this for probably close to 30 years. And so it's proven effective. It's stood the test of time, and people are winning with money with this program. Now, average time that it takes for people to pay off their debt, and again, this is average, is about 2 years, 22 months or so. So depending on your specific situation, it could take a little longer. And this is non-mortgage debt. This is just consumer debt. Okay, cars, credit cards, personal loans, student loans, all that stuff, right? Now, you may be in a very different situation, right? You may not be average. You may have taken on huge amounts of student loan debt, right? 2, 3, 4, 500,000, maybe even more of student loan debt. And you could be in a boatload of trouble. So it could take you longer. But don't worry. Don't fret. There's hope. We can help you with this. We can set up a plan. We can teach you the skills that you need to succeed with money. And maybe this might not work for you. Maybe you need to go through one of the other solutions. But that's okay. Whatever it is, there's opportunity for you to win. Now, some of the key advantages is that it focuses on you having no debt ever, right? You might have a mortgage, right? That's like the only debt that Dave teaches is okay. But even then, he wants you to pay that off as quickly as possible, right? And most people pay off their mortgage, following the debt snowball method, within 7 years. But that is a key tenet of FPU and the debt snowball. Now, it's slower. I would say it's probably a little bit slower than some of these others, but it's safer. Okay. And the challenge is, some of the cons is that it's a long-term method. It's going to take you a little bit longer, right? And one of the main things that people have a problem with this method is that it eliminates your cash flow. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're putting all of your extra disposable income towards your debt, towards the next smallest debt, right? And that's kind of, again, if you watch the video, I'll talk all about that. You eliminating cash flow. So, you get paid all that extra money, right? You have your budget, and you know how much you're going to be putting towards, your bills or whatever else. And so all that extra money, you pay it on your debt, the next smallest debt. And so you're out of money. And you're sticking to your budget, whatever you've allocated for your daily spending or weekly, monthly spending, whatever it is. That's it. That's all you get. And after that, every dollar is accounted for, and you don't have any extra. So that's one of probably the biggest challenges that people have, and why a lot of times people give up, is because you don't have any cash flow. And look, emergencies happen, things happen, which is why he teaches you to have an emergency fund, strictly for that reason, for an emergency. But not having that flexibility of cash flow, a lot of people don't like that, right? But it works, okay? So all extra money, right, is going to your debt. So these are some of the main things about the debt snowball. Again, it's proven effective. It stops your bad money habits, which is the main thing, right? You take control of yourself and you're spending your life, and it leads to a lot of other, you're taking control of your finances leads to a lot of other benefits, healthy benefits for your life, right? You learn to have control, focused, intensity, and so it works. Now let's talk about our debt negotiator solution, right? We use a company that we partner with, Mediator Debt Solutions, and they are great. They know what they're doing, but there are some key differences with some of the other methods, right? Number one, right, is that they negotiate on your behalf. They're doing the work, okay? They establish a plan for you, depending on what your budget's like, right? Depending on how much money, how much debt you owe, and things like that. And the way it works is they focus on creating a savings plan. Okay, so every month you're going to be paying them, right? Whatever that you've negotiated that based on your situation. And so you are paying them to start a savings plan, so they're going to control that. And once they built up a nice reserve, right, over the few months, then what they start to do is they will start to negotiate with the creditors. And they're going to call them and say, hey, we want to pay this off. What can we do? How can we work this out? You come to some sort of terms or agreement, right? They do all that for you, and then they'll pay it off, right? They'll take some of that money from the savings plan, and they will pay off that credit. And they'll just kind of work down their list, right? Now, it's a low monthly payment typically, much lower than the money that you're paying on. Let's say we have multiple credit cards and multiple loans and whatever else. They will help you by just giving you a low monthly payment, right? Because the whole idea is that they're going to be able to reduce the total amount of debt that you have by negotiating with the creditors for a lesser amount than what you owe. Now, it's much less stressful, right? With this, you're doing all the work here. You're going to do all the work here. So this is much less stressful, and it's a hands-off approach. You're not the one doing it. You're paying this company small amount a month. They're going to handle it, right? And typically can be faster, right? Definitely, probably faster than 2 years, depending on your situation, right? Again, if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, it's probably going to take you longer. So you got to be prepared. You have to know. And again, you reach out and you talk to them or us, and we help you set that up. Now, it will likely affect your credit score. More than likely, it will affect your credit score negatively, because the way they do that to negotiate is they might stop paying one of your creditors, right, to have a couple of delinquent payments on there, get them to, want to negotiate with you and settle with you because they see that you're not paying. So, hey, we'll just take anything at that point, right? So it will likely affect your credit score for a while, okay? And eventually it'll come back, but initially it will affect your credit score. And probably one of the biggest things, and one of the reasons why I don't always steer people towards this, is that it does not deal with your bad habits, okay? You're not learning to take control of your money and your spending, which is one of the biggest culprits of why you're in debt in the first place, right? Other than maybe having low income and you have no choice. But if you are just out of control with your money and you're spending money and you're using credit cards like crazy, this doesn't address that, right? This will. This helps you deal with you, with who you are, with you, right? So, not always the best thing, but for some people it works. And it's a much easier, and you know what, life is already stressful enough as it is. I don't want to deal with the money anymore. Let someone else take over and do it for me. So, Mediator Debt Solutions, again, they're a debt negotiator. We have an agreement with them. We've partnered with them. So if you need help, we can help do that. That's another option for you. And then you have the velocity banking. Okay, velocity banking, right? The main concept of velocity banking is that you're going to leverage some sort of debt tool. Okay. Now, if you're paying off consumer debt, you would typically try to use a personal line of credit with a fixed interest rate. And, you typically don't want to do it with the credit card. You can, but because of the high interest rates on credit cards, that's not always the best thing. You may not necessarily have the credit line that you need, the amount that you need to pay off all the debts that you have. So it all depends. Everybody's situation is different. And again, we're going to get into specifics. I'm going to have some examples of velocity banking, some clients that I'm working with. So you leverage a debt tool. Okay, so for example, you might have a bunch of debt, a bunch of credit cards, loans. Let's say your credit is decent. You can go out and get a personal line of credit, a personal unsecured line of credit, hopefully for a reasonable interest rate, right? Hopefully it's not too high, maybe less than 10%, something like that. And then you're going to do what's called chunking, okay? And you basically take a big amount of that line of credit, typically about 66% or whatever it is, depending on your situation, and you apply that, you pay off smaller debts, right? And then you're going to take your income, all your income that's coming in. Okay, we're going to get into the specifics of that later, but you would put all that onto your line of credit, and then that reduces the balance, right? You've paid off some of the bills, some of the debts, so you have more cash flow. And then as you need to pay your bills throughout the month, you pull that money out of your line of credit. So the whole idea is that you're paying off debt, you're paying less interest, and that's one of the biggest things, right? You can tackle more than one debt at a time because hopefully if your line of credit is big enough and you have the cash flow, you have the income, then you could maybe pay off your 2, 3, 4 smallest debts at one time. And overall, you're typically going to pay less interest because you're paying off a bunch of debt really fast, right? So you don't have to worry about just making the minimums and things like that, which this typically does. And you're also able to, because you're putting your income onto that line of credit, you keep the interest low, right? And as you're making those, you're dropping in your income into there, that basically acts as the payment, so it's keeping the interest down. So definitely you're paying less interest over time. And again, this works fantastic for your mortgage. If you want to pay off your mortgage faster, leveraging a HELOC on your mortgage is the way to go, okay? And you will typically have faster debt reduction, typically. Faster than this, right? Depending on, again, how much credit you have, your debt tool that you're using, the interest and things like that. Again, faster mortgage payoff than just obviously paying minimums or even doing the debt snowball on your mortgage. One of the best benefits about this, though, is it preserves your cash flow, okay? Especially compared to this, because you having a line of credit, a revolving line of credit, right, not a credit card, you're able to use that money as you need it. You're pulling out, and while you don't need it, let's say you get paid at the beginning of the month or something, you put all that money in your personal line of credit, and then throughout the month, as the bills come due, you're pulling that money out and you're using it. So you have access to that cash flow if you need to put a little more, take out a little more because something came up, the money's there. You have access to credit, right? So preserves cash flow, big benefit there. And it typically will start to increase your credit score because you're leveraging debt, right? You're paying off debt, but you're still using debt. So that will typically lead to an increased credit score, right? If you do it right. So that's a big benefit. Now, one of the main drawbacks to this is that you need to borrow more. So if you haven't got the discipline and you're now taking on more debt, and now you paid off maybe some credit cards, and now you see that, hey, those balances are zero, hey, I'm going to go buy this, or I'm going to go buy that. So you're not really, again, taking control of yourself, of your finances. You're going to have to use self-control no matter what. Because even here, right, if you have a low monthly payment, that increases your cash flow here, your disposable income throughout the month. I mean, you could start just blowing that on something else, right? You can go get more credit if you wanted to. So typically, that's one of the challenges of this, is that you need to borrow more. And also one of the main drawbacks of this is that if you already ruined your credit because you're in so much debt, right? Let's say you're overextended, you've let's say maxed out your credit limits and things like that, credit lines. You need good credit to obtain a significant debt tool, especially a personal line of credit. I mean, you're going to be probably need to be over 700. So that is probably one of the biggest challenges. And so you're likely going to need to start to repair your credit in order for you to leverage a significant debt tool. And then with the HELOC, if you're trying to pay off a mortgage, if you're using velocity banking for a mortgage, you need a big enough HELOC, right? You need, especially, more importantly, you need enough equity in your home to get a HELOC. And the way things are going right now, you should have equity, right? But hopefully your credit's decent that they're going to actually allow you to borrow that money. So that's definitely a challenge there. You need good credit. So we may have to work on fixing your credit first. And we have companies that we partner with that does credit repair. So they're a great asset. So if you need help with that, reach out. We can help you with that. But the whole idea is, look, we're going to set up a financial life strategy that's tailor-made for you. That's what we do here, right? We offer the one-on-one coaching, right? It's specifically with the Debt Snowball method and the velocity banking. We offer a one-on-one coaching, right? And you get me. You have other people in the office. But more importantly, I'm going to be kind of supervising, make sure that they're teaching the right things, numbers. I review the numbers and make sure everything's working right. So you have an accountability partner if you work with FireLife Financial. And so that's what we do. That's how we help. That's how we serve. So for you out there, my Fire family, my FireLife family, hey, if you need help, reach out. You're not alone in this. We've been through it. I've been through it. I've done stupid with money. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have done stupid with money. And, sometimes we have to get some help. We have to seek advice from people who've been through it. We have to seek expertise. So that's why we're here. This is what we're doing. This is why you're watching this channel. This is why you're watching this video. That's why you've gone through this whole video, this presentation here. And that's because you need help. So reach out. That's what we're here for. And so with that, I thank you very much for watching. Again, hit on that like button, share this video, smash on the bell, get the notifications, and subscribe to this channel. The more you subscribe, you know what? We want to be putting out more content. We want to be educating you on finances and more importantly on the fire life. So we're going to get into a lot more things about living fire, being on fire. If you haven't watched our fire video, check out that video. It'll give you a good idea of what the fire life is all about. And that's our goal. We want to help you get to there. We want to help you retire, right? We want to help you not work if you don't have to. But it starts with getting control of your debt, paying off debt, and having freedom. There is no greater feeling than paying off your debt. Oh my God, the weight that gets lifted off of your shoulders when you're debt-free, there's no greater thing. And if some of you just look up debt-free screams, if even if you're not familiar with Dave Ramsey or whether you are, you need some motivation. Watch some of the debt-free scream videos as they talk through their stories. That is some of the most motivating stuff because you see people that have been through the same thing. They've dealt with the same issues that we've dealt with or that you're dealing with right now. And that gets you excited because you know what? You know it's possible. You know it's possible. You can do this. I believe in you. And I want to help you. So reach out to me, Coach Angel, FireLife Financial.